to a game that's known, by the way, for being incredibly difficult, and it's your fault, not the dev's fault for not thinking of every single player of all kinds of walks of life. They don't care. It's a challenge, and it has to be for players who think every game is easy, and if you aren't one of those players, then you are a scumbag, you filthy casual. At the end of the day, go kill yourself, man. At the end of the day, go kill yourself, man. Down some rabbit hole of who we hate and why we hate people. That's not what we do here. Rich from Review Tech USA is a pedophile. You had Selena Kyle, which is Lenny Kravitz's daughter, like a half-breed, basically. He thinks he understands copyright law, though he doesn't understand the word perjury. Literally, actively said I committed perjury when that is actually lying under oath. Never took an oath. We never went to court. Perjury.
It's been years since I've seen such a weird and wonderful drama on YouTube that is, of course, relevant to my interests. This isn't your typical manufactured for clicks back and forth about some disagreement two big channels had 6 years ago. There's no slap fighting for theatrics. This is all-out war between a bunch of channels and one called QuantumTV. It all started when Elden Ring released, and of course FromSoft Games, for whatever reason, seemed to bring about a couple months worth of just absolutely class drama and headlines, as people who are too entitled to understand that things can exist that they don't like and that are not made for them try to make reviews and give opinions about how it should in fact conform to what they like, and everyone who likes what it currently is can just go kick rocks.
You shouldn't be saying that's how it is, or, you know, we just know that that's how these games are. It's not for everyone. A game that's not for everyone isn't a game that should be made, in my opinion.
Now, whenever you make inflammatory reviews or remarks about pretty much anything online, you better hope fans of said things don't find that. Basically, QuantumTV discovered what happens if you talk shit about K-pop, Final Fantasy XIV, or Star Citizen, and he wasn't prepared to face the consequences of those actions. Realistically though, we all know fanboys exist, and even if you give a well thought out, measured opinion on something, chances are there's some rabid weirdo who's going to get upset about it. But there is a difference between how you present opinions and also how good faith or bad faith you go in with said opinions. He of course didn't just criticize the thing, he didn't really bring up valid points. He just went absolutely hard about something he knows nothing about, didn't even really try to find anything out about it or give the game a chance. And then not only did he double down on these statements, he also attacked the lives of anyone who likes the product in the first place.
This game is for somebody who really is looking for a sandbox. They have no family, no friends, no life, and they have literally thousands of hours to grind away.
Now, you are unlikely to make remarks like this about fans of a game if you're normal, but after you saw the backlash, you would hopefully have the ability to reflect upon the things you've said and understand why exactly you deserve the equally unpleasant responses. But no, not QuantumTV. Instead, he made follow-up videos further antagonizing and attacking the fanbase, as well as anybody that would go on to criticize his bad takes. Of course, if you've ever followed one of these situations on YouTube, the likely next step for somebody in his position is to threaten legal action and abuse the DMCA system against anyone who uses the clips of the publicly posted YouTube videos. People do that to hold you accountable and to just laugh about the unreasonable shit that you're spewing all over the internet. That is the consequence of you having these opinions. You can have them, but people are going to use them in videos. And that's exactly what he did. He started out with striking and harassing a 16-year-old content creator who made a commentary video about the Elden Ring review, and then he gloated about the content creator removing the video as if taking pride in his ability as a larger channel and a full-grown man to bully a young man into doing what he wanted. Somewhere around this time, Review Tech USA picked up on the drama and started to discuss it. He also was met with threats. From there though, this is where it gets wild. As with anything like this, there's a classic saying that should always be remembered. Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. As you saw at the start of the video, QuantumTV, without evidence whatsoever, put into the public domain that Review Tech USA is in fact a pedo. The logic for this remark is, of course, guilty by association. Apparently, Review Tech USA claimed to be a fan of another content creator who made some remarks regarding age of consent. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but we all know you can't possibly like another content creator or some of their opinions without co-signing everything they've ever said, publicly or privately. Of course, that's sarcasm. That's not the case. You can just like somebody, like something that they've done, and not even know they've said these things, let alone agree with them and live your life by the things that they've said. That's mental. Nobody lives their life by that standard. If that was the case, you couldn't like anybody or anything with fear of just being guilty by associated if they do say something in the future or something comes out that they've said or done. That's a completely untenable way to live life, and nobody with any kind of common sense whatsoever thinks that's the case. Well, apart from QuantumTV, of course, which is then funny when he goes on to defend and refuse to demote his Discord moderator, who repeatedly uses derogatory terms for transsexual people. But I guess it's weird rules for thee and not for me. Who would have guessed? Definitely not me, but I would go as far to say that based on what I've seen of QuantumTV, what he said about people in the LGBT community, etc., he probably doesn't demod this person because they have similar opinions on the topic. Regardless of all that, though, this is the crux of the issue. QuantumTV is so delusional, he thinks everyone's against him because he didn't like Elden Ring, and that he gave his opinion on Elden Ring, and that spawned a grand conspiracy that comes from the toxic FromSoft fanbase. And I'm not going to say FromSoft doesn't have like a small subsection of toxicity. Every fanbase does. But what he doesn't understand is that the review was the fuse, and if that's all he did, it would likely have been a few meme videos and then everyone would move on with their life. The fact he went on to abuse the DMCA system, perjure himself, bullied a 16-year-old, called a 1 million subs YouTube channel a pedo without any evidence, and then went on to make multiple videos defending these actions, submitting more legal threats on the issue to other people, double, triple down, attack other fan bases. That's when people started to look into his own closet and found that there was a whole fucking graveyard worth of skeletons in there. It wasn't because he doesn't like Elden Ring. Nobody fucking cares if you like or don't like the game. What actually happened is he came out the closet screaming about Elden Ring and how bad it is and how everyone who plays the game is a loser and doesn't have a family and their kids don't love them and just ridiculous things like this. And then people looked over his shoulder and went, "What's that over there, mate? Is that a skeleton over there?" He said some sincerely disgusting things about homosexual people, including calling for their death. He thinks that a character in a video game being gay is hate speech and it's hate against straight people and hate against him. And he's done all these things publicly on Twitter, Discord, Facebook, and presumably he did this on his YouTube channel prior to 2018. And of course, his currently active QuantumTV channel, because as you can see here, he was banned on YouTube for hate speech. So when he then claims his account was hacked and he never said all these things like, he wishes this particular gay person was at the Pulse nightclub, which is, one of the most terrible things you can probably say, it's really hard to then believe him. He never claimed his YouTube was hacked, yet he was banned for hate speech. He never deleted any of the tweets which were aimed at Sony and associated accounts during the release of Last of Us 2, which featured openly gay characters, which of course sent a lot of people spinning over the edge. It's hard to believe these are not things he would say when there's substantial evidence to the contrary, especially when you look into also just how he's generally received in the community he makes content for, the TV community. People do not like this man. He refers to himself as a truther, or the #1 brand of honesty, which in terms of his content seems to mean he talks shit about everybody else, every other brand, and he's jealous of the channels that are bigger than him and don't align themselves with his channel. Now, following all of this, channels like Axeman picked up on the situation, made videos, got DMCA striked and legal threats from Quantum, and proved that this is a pattern of behavior that will likely continue. And that's when Ackman decided to go scorched earth and drop the 30-minute video that you may have seen, which goes in depth on all these things Quantum said and done. That's the video doing the rounds and wetting everyone's whistle, the succulent piece of drama that's got everyone hooked in. And if that was where the story ended, cool, it was fun, Quantum's a weirdo, let's move on. However, QuantumTV decided that's not the end of it. I'm gonna look up the real identity of Ackman. Then I'm gonna look up the identity of his mother, then call her and tell her about her son's harmful videos that are damaging the QuantumTV brand. When in fact, no, you damaged the brand by being a fucking bigot and a weirdo. Now, this is, of course, fucking mental. It's an absolute unreasonable thing to do that you would only participate in if you have something severely wrong with your brain, especially considering there is evidence Ackman tried to get QuantumTV on a call on Discord multiple times. So then using the excuse that you're calling his mother because you couldn't get in touch with Actman. Like, we've seen the chat logs. We know you could have done that. We know you could have had this conversation before all of this boiled over and got to this unreasonable, untenable state. Actman was obviously not happy by this. I mean, who would be if some random stranger online is calling your fucking family? He took to Twitter and made a post which you can see on screen. He states QuantumTV is threatening his family with doxing and violence. He ended the tweet with, quote, "I wish I was fucking joking. If we see you, Quantum, we shoot on sight." Now, obviously, this is escalation you don't want to be seeing. Tensions are running high. QuantumTV recorded the phone call and posted another 30-minute long video, which is essentially just gaslighting his audience about the fact this is all cancel culture. And due to the big YouTubers being annoyed, the big strong QuantumTV stood up to them and said they can't steal his content. It started with you doing it to a smaller channel, so I'm not really understanding where that comes from. But in reality, it's because of his actions and constant attempt to shit in the pool of YouTube by using these underhanded, scummy tactics to abuse systems that we all know are extremely archaic and damaging to what we do on the platform. In this video, he plays back the recording of contacting Actman's mother because I guess he thinks it vindicates his actions and shows he didn't make threats. But the threat is implied by you having sought out the contact details of Actman's family and making contact with them, then talking about legal action, as well as the previous videos talking about how you, quote, wouldn't want families to get hurt in the process of this drama. In the video, Quantum essentially says that Actman is calling for the shooting and murder of himself. This is clearly, in context, not how the tweet reads. It reads stating, if you come near my family because you're contacting them, this thing will happen, which is obviously emotionally charged, but at least in my opinion, doesn't mean that it's a threat against Quantum in any other sort of context or situation. Now, just to touch upon why this is such a big deal and why content creators are all going to jump on this story, including myself. 2 reasons. 1, it's good content, it's interesting, it's a crazy story, therefore it's fun to cover and it gets clicks. 2, because YouTube is a public pool house equipped with an Olympic-sized pool, jacuzzi, saunas, and a full bar. We're all there hanging out, trying to get along, understanding that the platform only works if we don't fuck with it too much, if we don't fuck with each other. So when bad faith actors like QuantumTV or another perpetual DMCA abuser like Acerthorn shows up and lets loose a massive stinky turd in the middle of the pool, it doesn't matter if we're currently there. It doesn't matter if we're in the jacuzzi. It doesn't matter if we're at the bar getting a drink. We're going to have to deal with it at some point. The YouTube platform becomes completely untenable if we can't use each other's clips and content, if we can't talk about and criticize the things while showing said content. And the legal system tends to agree with this because we have legal precedent set in the landmark victory regarding fair use in 2018 when Ethan Klein of H3H3 won a civil suit for this exact scenario. So drama can definitely go too far, and this is an example of that. I'm going to keep up to date with it because, you know, what can I say? I like it. It's fun. It's mad. I hope it doesn't escalate any further, but I do want to see what the people are saying. And yeah, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Stay safe. Peace.